Hey guys, Zombie here, and today I just want to talk to you about a TV show, or I guess a company that makes TV shows that I am very into recently because they are just really good. I'm surprised how good they are and how addicting they are, just because I normally don't get caught up in live action shows. I normally just watch anime. I don't really watch live action shows other than The Walking Dead, and that's about it because zombies, and I have to watch zombie movies. I mean, it's just kind of who I am. I have a collection of about 150, yeah, about 150 horror movies right now, and it's still adding up. Also, I mean, I have a whole crap ton in the cupboards that you see right about there. Yeah, and normally I don't get caught up in live action shows, but apparently Marvel makes very, very good live action productions. Um, like I started watching Daredevil. I was just on a whim. Let's see. At first, I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've watched several seasons of it. I'm caught up on it, and I enjoyed it. It was pretty good. It gave me closure on Coulson because I really was sad at Coulson in Avengers, and I won't talk about anything specific just in case you are one of the people that haven't seen it. I don't know who you are, or where you've been for the past few years, but just in case you haven't seen it, let me adjust this. There you go. Just in case you haven't seen it, I won't give away any spoilers, but I was very heartbroken, and it upset me. So I started watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it gave me good closure. It gave me a great story, and it really finalized a lot of things for me, and I enjoyed that. Um, and then eventually, it's been a few years, but just like in the past month, I decided, hey, why not? I'll check it out because Netflix has all these different series. I started watching like Daredevil. That was the first one I watched. And it was actually really good. Like I thought it'd be really cheesy. I started watching The Flash also just to see how good it would be. And it's fun, it's addicting, but it is cheesy as heck. You know, every week is a Freak of the Week type of week show. So you have a Scooby Doo formula, pretty much, where every week you're going to have a different monster or a different adversary that they're going to fight, and then they'll have a moral of the story kind of thing at the end. And that's generally kind of how it went for the whole thing. Let me scoot back a little bit. There we go. But that was in The Flash. That was DC. It's a different company. And now I decided to Marvel, hey, why not? I'll give it a shot. Because maybe at least it's a good superhero show and I'll get to watch it. Because superhero beating the crap out of enemies. It was actually really deep. I enjoyed it. It had a great story. It had decent depth. Interesting characters that had cool backstories. I mean, if you read the comics, you know their backstories. But more or less, they added on to them in their own special ways, trying to make things darker. I can't go into any specifics because some characters are introduced in the second season that aren't in the first, and it would kind of ruin things for you if you have not seen it. But it's good. Check it out. I mean, Marvel's really good at their storytelling. Holy crap. They're owned by Disney. Marvel is owned by Disney. Their storytelling is spot on. I'm telling you, their storytelling is really good. They have the best writers available to them out of anybody. Disney has never had a failed project. At least not to my knowledge, other than the Haunted House game came out. That's about their only failed project because that was kind of one of their early attempts at doing games for themselves. But that's aside the whole fact. Basically, Daredevil was a good show. I enjoyed it. It was fantastic. I watched the first two seasons of it all in a row. It was great. And then I started watching Luke Cage. That was also really good. I felt that it really captured the mood of the comic. A lot of people start talking about how racist it is, and they feel that there should be more white in it or whatever. But really, the comic was made for equality, for diversity, to show that Marvel still cares about every group out there. And that was the point. And it really captures the entire feel of the comic. And it shows just that Marvel isn't forgetting anybody, and that there is still a badass superhero that has a great story and a lot of cool content that's just enjoyable for everybody. Who cares about what color he is? That's what their point was with it, and it worked because they told a great, amazing story. Who cares about his color? He's a great guy. He was a cool comic character, a great superhero, cool powers, and they really made some awesome challenges throughout the whole thing. I mean, I was just like in it. I seriously watched the thing in like 3 days, the whole series. It was that good. I just kind of glued to it. 13 episodes solid. And then they started. I haven't gotten to watch Jessica Jones yet. I'm gonna watch that next. I'm watching Iron Fist right now. I'm on episodes. I'm just entering episode 7, and it's really good. I mean, like, I started it and I saw the intro, and I'm like, kung fu fighting. I mean, seriously, I love everything kung fu fighting. I'm a American guy that's a geek completely, and I love kung fu fighting. It's awesome. It's badass in every way. I know it's terrible to say, but it's cool. I mean, it's fighting. I mean, one of my favorite pastimes is I record a crap ton of boxing matches, and I watch them all. I love boxing. I love fighting. I love one-on-one competition. And what says beating each other down, duel to the death than kung fu movie? That's kind of what it feels like with a stronger storytelling method by a good team of writers in Iron Fist, and I'm enjoying it. Point of Iron Fist was basically he was a human weapon or countermeasure to a large ninja mafia, I guess I would say. But yeah, he's a badass, he's good at fighting, and he kicks a lot of butt. And it's a good show. It was a lot of fun. I haven't met a show yet from them that I have not liked. It's cool. I mean, I started on DC stuff also, like with The Flash, but that's the only one I can watch. Like, Legends of Tomorrow, I'm not as much into. It just didn't grab me. There's a few shows like Green Arrow, it didn't really grab me. A lot of people love the show. I'm serious. A lot of people love the show, but it's personally just not me. It's not my style, it's just not my personal preference. But Marvel, I'm a Marvel fan, definitely. Sure, I love Batman. Batman is the man. And that's what I like about DC, Batman. But with Marvel, their shows, their characters, they're good at storytelling, and they're good at setting up underdogs as the main characters, and they carry through that story and make it relatable, and they make it very in-depth, so any average Joe can look at it and say, hey, that's really cool. I can see myself in that kind of position if that ever happened. Oh wow, he's suffering. I feel that. They're good at it. I mean, that's just kind of their specialty. And it's wonderful, and they have really good people working there. It's awesome. I respect them. I mean, it's cool. I just kind of want to share that because I've really been into their series recently, and what they're doing next. I'm gonna watch Jessica Jones next, and after I finish Daredevil, and then I'll be caught up because what they're doing next is they're bringing all of that together into a team that they had formed in the comics called the Defenders. So you're gonna have Daredevil, you're gonna have Luke Cage, you're gonna have Iron Fist, and you're gonna have Jessica Jones. And then you're going to have that nurse helping them out throughout the whole thing. I can't remember her name. Claire. That was her name. But you're going to have all these major players in their own team. They're not the super freaking overpowered group called the Avengers. They're the Defenders. They protect the people in the city. They protect the little man. And they do a good job at it. They're a popular team in the comic, and they're great people. I'm excited to see what the show has because they're doing a similar strategy to what they were doing with the movies. And with the movies, they did each separate series by itself. Like they did Iron Man 1 and 2, they did The Incredible Hulk, they did Thor 1. Who else is in it? I think that's about all the main series they did. And then they tied them in and they started doing their own. Oh yeah, Captain America. Sorry. And then they started tying in their own series, like they did the Avengers, they tied them together, then they continued doing their own series, then tied them together again because there's similar events that link together. But this is doing something very similar, but on a much more intricate scale, even, I would assume. Or I would admit that there's a much more intricate scale. Because they're linking them together, but throughout the entire series, on each series, they're all happening at the same time. Or at least slightly after each other. Like, you can tell Daredevil happens first. Daredevil happens first, Jessica Jones happens second, Luke Cage happens third, and Iron Fist happens fourth. You can tell this because the references, pretty much all from the Nurse Claire. Yeah, pretty much all from the Nurse Claire. She's the tie-in. All of the references happen from the previous series that happened. Like, she'll mention after Daredevil, and you start watching. Okay, well, yeah, I guess Luke Cage starts mentioning a lawyer she knows, Daredevil, and she starts talking about him a lot, like, oh, I can use this great lawyer, I know this awesome lawyer, and then she starts talking about how she got out of the city because of all these crazy things that were happening. She was talking about a lot of the things that were happening in Daredevil because, well, the Hand was having a big play in that, and it was a big fight. And then when you're watching Luke Cage, alright, Jessica Jones is the second. Yeah, Jessica Jones is the second. I'll get back to you on that one. But when you're watching Luke Cage, that I already watched, which is the third one, she's talking about how he got a shotgun blast to the face from Jessica Jones. She uses her by name. So you can tell it happens directly after that. And she also still continues mentioning the lawyer she knows in the city, Daredevil, or... Oh, damn, what's his name? It's sad. I watched the entire series, I read the comics, and I can't remember her name. Okay, whatever. But basically, she mentioned several facts that happened throughout the series. And when you continue on to the fourth series, Iron Fist, when they're talking about the Hand, the ninja group, she mentions that even further. When they find out they're in the city, she's like, oh, really? They're still there? You know, it's like, we still have to fight these guys? Oh, crap, what'd you get me into, you know? Because she's already had experience fighting them. It's kind of a thing in the past. And I love how it ties it together and shows that each series happens one after another and they're all canon. I mean, that's just a wonderful fact, and I adore that. Keeping your series all canon within each other is just something that doesn't happen. And I have the utmost respect for them for that. I'm sorry, I'm out of water. I normally drink a gallon of water a day. My water spilled earlier in the car. So I'm just drinking glasses and I lost count, so I'm dry. But yeah, with what they're doing, it's just absolutely amazing. And the way they're doing it with the show, I'm really interested in seeing how they'll tie it all together in the Defenders. They've already released a trailer. I'll at least include a link to somewhere for it in the description below, so you can check it out yourself, because I'm excited for it. I mean, the Defenders should be awesome. It's going to be fun, because if you like the shows at all, or any of the series of shows, I highly suggest you watch them in that order, because that's the order they're made in timeline-wise, so you'll know what time everything takes place in, and then you can be prepared properly for the Defenders. Yeah, I was talking about how it works its way into the movies and its canon. I'll talk about that in a second. So, I just want to remind you. First, they have Daredevil, then they have Jessica Jones, then they have Luke Cage, then they have Iron Fist, and then they'll have Defenders. But yeah, the way it all weaves itself together for the total canon story starts out with his name, Coulson. And they haven't directly shown Coulson again in the movies because they kind of want to leave it up in the air. They don't really want to admit, yes, this is canon, because that admits a whole bunch of stuff. Like, that involves the Kree Wars and the Kree and Skull Wars and all that. And it's just a big leap for them if they actually admit it, so they're kind of holding back until they have the framework ready for it. because that will mean a whole new movie. Because right now they're focusing on the Infinity Stones, and they're just not ready for it. It's not up to par yet. But in the show, they're ready for it, so they're just kind of playing it out in the long run. That's why the past 2 seasons have been mostly about, or past 2 or 3 seasons have been mostly about the Inhumans, because they're still working into being a regular accepted thing. But they are also working in things like the helicarrier that appeared in Age of Ultron. There was a whole thing about Agent Coulson bringing that in. And it was like his moving assets around, working undercover, and then after it happened, they just said it outright. Hey, yeah, Agent Coulson was the one moving assets around to bring about a helicarrier for to help out the Avengers. And it's fantastic how they're doing things like that throughout every single series, because you see hints of it throughout the entire show. It's not just little parts, like they'll just be like, oh, yeah, we're part of it. Like they'll put hints of it throughout every episode until it like leaks at the end of it after the event happened. And it was just fun. I love how intricate it is. It gets you involved. It's like a teaser trailer for the movie or the new movie that's going to come out. It's like they're teasing you for it, and they're giving you little tastes of events that could happen in it. And I just think that's fantastic. Like when Captain America Winter Soldier was happening, it did the same thing. All of a sudden, Hydra broke loose, and all hell broke loose. And then it tied directly into the movie, and didn't change anything like that. It was amazing. I loved it. Everyone loved it. It tied in perfectly, and they're really good people at that. I'm sorry, this is just kind of it just kind of turned into a giant praise for Marvel and their filmmaking success and techniques, because they do good work. I mean, you gotta admit, they do good work. At the end of the day, they make good quality movies, and they make good quality shows. I mean, I personally enjoy them. I don't know if you do. I don't know if it's your thing, but it's fun. You probably like Iron Fist if you like anything that has to do with fighting or boxing or kung fu, because it has a lot of fighting in it. You learn a bit more about boxing in Luke Cage, so they actually go over a little bit about it, and it was fun because they used that as a reference to how he learned to fight. But anyways, guys, I'm done rambling on because I could do that forever. I just keep on going because I did have a bit of this, and I'm a bit out of it. But I just felt like talking to you. And no matter how down I get, no matter how down life is bringing me, I always feel like I can talk to you guys. I always feel like I can open up to you. I always feel like I can just tell you about anything that's on my brain, and I appreciate it so much. I'm telling you. I've been down. I've been really down. Yeah, I've been pretty down. Like, worse than I've been in a long time. A long time. I'm debating purposes, reasons for keep going. But I'm happy you guys are here. I appreciate you so much. I mean, I appreciate you guys every day that I wake up. Every time I see my daughter, I thank you guys, because you gave me the courage to keep going. You gave me the strength to keep going. And I appreciate you for it. You're awesome people. All of you. You comment, and you talk to me, and you become friends with me. And some of you I even have on Steam because you're so cool. I want to talk to you all the time. You're awesome. All of you. Thank you so much. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. My voice is really dry right now, so I'm going to go get some water because I'm dehydrated. So I'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Oh, wrong button. I'm used to the Bandicam controls. This is in Windows Camera Controller.